So, guys, we're live, 388 Racing. We've got some of the Loudon Gang here. Right now, Adam's in and out. Renee's actually out on the road and actually pulled over to join us. And we got last lap choke artist Eli Block with us. Let's get Adam in here. Let's see if he's working. And maybe not. So what I want to do tonight is Eli's already been jaded by Moto America because he's been there before, and this was his return this year. But I want to get your first impressions, and this is your first Moto America ride going down to Pittsburgh. So we'll start with Renee. If Adam gets his whatever's going on with his technology straightened out, we'll get his, and then we'll go to the old pro Eli, who's been there before, been in the show, and returned. So Renee, why don't you go ahead?
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad I did pit before Jersey because it's definitely going to help going into that event with this experience. It wasn't exactly, like, it didn't turn out how I wanted it to, but I learned a lot and didn't crash, so that's always a plus. And now we know what we can work on so that I can hopefully do a little bit better at Jersey. And I was able to have a good battle in race 2 and try to, like, go back and forth with some of the kids, which that was a cool experience because, I mean, we do that at the regionals, but it's different. Like, you just feel different in that kind of a race, and having 4 or 5 people go back and forth was definitely a new experience, but I liked it a lot.
Yeah. How was the structure? Like, when you got there, what were some of the things that you had to get done when you first got there, like photographs and...
Yeah, so they had us do headshots and move in. We were, I guess Eli called us the winners of practice because we showed up the night before to try to, like, make sure that we were ready to go, which we really didn't have to do that. We thought it was going to be a lot more difficult to follow the structure, but they make it really easy on you. They give you schedules and radios, and you're pretty much, like, online with everything. So it was pretty easy in that sense, and it made it more enjoyable because the stress wasn't that bad. And I also had the Boss Racing guys helping me throughout the weekend, and they guided me through, you know, the schedule, the structure, the tire schedule. So it was good.
Was it kind of different where you were there for, well, same class 2 races, but with the practice, the qualifying, did you get enough track time?
Yeah, I mean, that was one of the things that it was hard for me to, like, figure out if I liked it or not, because we got a lot of track time, like, actual time-wise, but you only get a certain amount of sessions, and I just wish we had a little bit more time to figure some stuff out before the races and try some different things, because you almost don't want to take big risks before the races, and you don't get many practice sessions that don't actually matter.
Yeah. Well, and I would think it would be more focused too, because everything that you're doing for the whole weekend is focused on race 1, race 2.
Yeah.
I was telling Eli before you came in between my races at round 5, I had my big TV in the trailer going, and I was watching you guys while I was getting ready to go out for one of my races on your Saturday race. And I had all kinds of people sticking their head in watching to see what was going on. Because it was really kind of awesome to see you guys on the TV. With the coverage is amazing with the cameras everywhere and the live stream. So it was really cool to say, hey, I know that person. And, you know, we were all rooting for you.
Yeah, that was another thing too. Like, even as a spectator, it was cool to be there, and you get to watch, like, in person, which I don't really go to many Moto America events, so they had a really cool spectator area, and it was pretty cool.
Yeah, because I know the next one, I assume you're going to another Moto America. You're going to Jersey?
Yeah, yep.
So I've already planned that I'm going to come down to Jersey and check it out for sure. Just because it's been so long. I mean, I'm from back in the old AMA days and the NASB, which took over for a while. And it was pretty cool being in the pits with all the pro riders and stuff. And I just want to see how much it's evolved, especially the way they've got this done. Because back then they really didn't have kind of like the step up classes, your junior cup, your twins cup, and then super sport, stock 1000 and super bikes and all of that. It was a little bit different back in the day, but it was really cool watching you guys. Eli, why don't you go ahead and I'm going to swap you out here. So Eli's an old hat at this. He's been there before, and he returned after a stunning race with the pros at the Loudon Classic. And how'd this go for you?
Seems like I've never been there before. Could have gone better. It wasn't bad. I just wish we had more testing. We were supposed to go for a 3-day event, and just stuff got in the way, and we weren't able to make it down there. And, you know, life happens. But, you know, I went down there solo the week before. So I drove the van and trailer with my bike, and I did a 2-hour endurance race. So I did that solo, but it's not like I'm going in there making changes. I'm like thinking my gearing's okay, but like it turned out we were going the wrong way. And then all the way until race 1, we didn't have any idea of what we were doing with gearing. We went from, I was running a 47 rear, and we went back to a 51 during first practice. Then we went to a 49, then we went to a 47, and it just like kept on going back and forth, and we didn't have a solid setup. And I was having chatter, which I never had on a 400 before. So we made some changes, and, you know, my dad was working hard all weekend to get it all straight, and we got the bike to feel okay, but I just wasn't there. It just didn't, I couldn't put it all together. You know, as I said to you before, it's funny, I'm battling with the top factory superbike riders at Loudon Classic, and I'm getting beat by 14-year-olds right now. So it is what it is, you know.
Yeah.
You got to take your meds and come back and try going harder at Jersey. I'm excited. We're going to Jersey this weekend. Hopefully I'm going to do another 2-hour endurance race, but we're actually going to make changes this time. So just going to learn and, you know, make it so I can finally have a good showing at Moto America, because I haven't had one in a while.
Yeah, because you didn't go last year at all, did you?
I went to Jersey just to watch.
When was the last time you raced Moto America?
2021.
21?
Yep.
Yeah, so it's been a couple of years.
Yeah,
so,
it's been 2 years. It's
right.
There's new people.
Yeah.
So
let's see.
Hi, Nathan.
Adam, can you hear us? Okay, we can see you.
Oh, are we back?
Would you have to get your dad to help you?
Yeah, we got a laptop.
Yeah.
I was trying to do it off my phone, but it wouldn't work.
New Hartford
we
Wi-Fi.
Oh, yeah.
Thanks, Pops. Appreciate it.
Hey, no problem. Good luck.
Nathan, you're sexy.
Yeah, no. Oh.
So this is our trio from the Junior Cups, and Renee's actually out on the road. She managed to get her phone working.
Yeah, step it up, Adam.
I'm
in
sitting in the
Danbury
comfort
right
of my own home and cannot get the phone to work. So
she's actually, where are you parked? In a steakhouse parking lot?
Yeah, I'm at Longhorn. Wish I was eating.
So that's dedication. She pulled over and whipped out her phone and jumped on the live stream. So I was just talking with Eli about coming back. Renee's already gave her first impressions. And since you didn't get to really hear Eli, so you're not going to be jaded by anything he said, I want to hear what your first impressions of Moto America was, like getting there, getting your pictures taken, and all of that.
yeah, well, it was pretty stressful to say the least. But after you get past that, it was pretty fun. I gotta say, I had a great time. I mean, it wasn't too. I mean, once you get the hang of it, it's not too stressful, and I really had a good time. I learned a lot, like way more than I thought I would, which was good. I'm glad that I was able to learn, and then hopefully we can take what we learned and then take that to Jersey and then hopefully do better because we're going there this weekend to get some good track time in. So hopefully once we get track time, get a good bike set up, then hopefully we'll be good for Jersey. But ultimately, I had a great time, and I can't wait to do it again.
Good. I'm glad you enjoyed it because it can be stressful. How much different do you think it is from your regular club racing at Loudon?
Oh, it's way different. I mean, it's just everyone's on the same exact bike, so you know that no one's like gonna out motor you, Ryan. Anyways, don't mind that. But anyways, so yeah, it's everyone's on the same bike. The level of competitiveness is like through the roof, and you have to have everything perfect to even have like a slim chance of getting where you want to be. So it's just so much different in the aspect. The whole just paddock feels totally different, but everyone's still pretty nice to you, and you can still like go ask for advice from most people. I'm sure. I mean, I'm sure a few of the big names wouldn't really want to give anything away, but other than that, it's not too much different, but it's definitely a bigger league, to say the least.
Yeah, I was. Some of you have posted your after race narrative as to what went on, and I heard you were checking on the groundskeepers at a couple of spots. You were checking.
Oh yeah, just a couple. Yeah,
make
yeah.
sure the grass was cut correctly.
Yeah, I wasn't really expecting how aggressive everyone would be, but within the first 2 laps of that first race, I definitely figured it out. And well, it's all right. Once I figured it out, we took it to the next race, and then once we hit that next race, I knew I just got to put my elbows out, keep myself back on track, and just stay out of the grass, pretty much.
All right, we're gonna go back to the 4-way now. Renee, did you have any oopsie moments at all during the racing, or?
Oh yeah. Race 1, I had just caught up to the group in front of me after having a bad start, and then as soon as I caught them, I went off the track in the chicane, and then just tried to catch them back up, but I just couldn't. And then race 2, the first start was terrible. Like, I got lucky that I got red flagged because I was not in a good position. I went off track twice, almost ran somebody over twice. And then the restart, I had a good race going, and I got hit in the back in the chicane, which it happens. It's racing, but that kind of put me back a little bit, and then I had to work my way back up. But then I was able to because I had enough time, and then got back into a battle. But yeah, I think everybody went off track at some point.
Oh, that's why they keep the grass well manicured. Eli, I saw you several different times during some of the race coverage, and how about you? Any real oopsies? Did you have to get your elbows out with some of the guys, or?
Yeah, I mean, normally I'm a very aggressive racer. I've kind of faded away from it
we
lately.
didn't know that.
Yeah, so even like this weekend, I broke some kid's bodywork from just hitting him so hard going down the straightaway. Just kid kept on pushing me out wide, and this run to the finish line, and it's hard because I've coached kids for a long time, and I had one of the kids, Matthew Chapin, that I used to work with when he was 10 years old, and I've known him since actually he was 9. And he made his Moto America debut as well that weekend. And this one kid decided to try bullying him around. And in the last lap, if he tried bullying me around, I just swerved straight into him on the front straightaway because he ain't going to do that to me. And then, second race, I was battling with some kids that don't know any racecraft, but and decided that, if I dive bomb some kid at the apex, that our drives are going to be the same as everyone else. So I got hit in the back as well going into the chicane, and his clip-on came loose because of it. So, it's fun. The racing is pretty fun. Maybe racing up a little bit forward would be a little bit more fun for me. But, yeah, oopsies, not really. I was pretty consistent throughout the whole entire weekend. I didn't really, I missed the chicane once, and that was just during a practice, and I was pulling in anyway that lap. So, yeah, I mean, I was hitting the chicane every single lap, Had I think like the second fastest split third sector of the weekend. So yeah, I was like, from that like chicane all the way to the finish, I was pretty fast. So it's only 3 corners. So yeah, that's about it.
Well, I know you had mentioned that you were getting some chatter out of the 400 that you've never had before. I would assume the bike setup's going to be way totally different than anything compared to Loudon.
There.
So lots of struggles with the setup.
Well, it's also my first year running K-Tech on the 400. I used to run Nitron, and Nitron stopped. It was a UK company, so they stopped selling and importing to the US. So I haven't had much testing done on the 400 in general this year because I was mainly focused on the 600 for the Classic. So I maybe had like a month after the Classic to like say, hey, we should probably get some time on the 400. And I think after the Classic, I might have ridden the 400. I think 3 times, and the third time was at Moto America. So it's not like, there's no excuses to it, but it's like, if we had that time to test, it would be a little bit better. But, you got to get what you have and take what you got. So,
Adam, how about you?
Well, I was a funny story. So, Elo was saying he was so fast in the chicane. Well, he passed me right before it, and I decided to, see if I could at least follow him into the chicane. But this was during, I think it was qualifying 1, maybe.
I think it was Q1.
Was it Q1? Yeah, so he goes diving into the chicane, and I follow his speed because I want to see if I could do it. And turns out I could definitely not do it. So that sent me into the grass. I jumped about, 5-6 feet in the air. Not in the air, but like long ways. And then I ended up in the grass, totally ruined my lap, but figured out what the limits of me and my bike are. So that it did help me eventually, but still would have been a decent lap if I didn't have a little excursion. But it's all right. That's how things happen. But other than that, just in race 1 was when I got pushed off the track twice in 1 lap. But after race 2 was pretty solid. I stayed on the track the whole time, had some good battles all the way up to the finish. So other than that, it was fun. I learned a lot.
Renee, how about you? Bike setup way different?
Yeah, definitely. Adam's smirking because I struggled with it during the weekend for sure. Just trying to get comfortable because it was so much different than what I run at Loudon and everything. And, I also struggled with chatter like Eli was saying and just tried to manage it the whole weekend. But it was a good learning experience because I'm not used to that. I'm not used to having to manage like riding when I'm not totally comfortable and trying to go fast doing it. So that was a good challenge for me, something I don't normally do. And I think it's going to make me better in the long run because when I get on something that I'm comfortable on, I'll hopefully do a little bit better and be able to push that limit now that I've learned how to even push it when I'm not totally comfortable. So it was just a learning experience, and those tracks are different than Loudon. Like, they're not the same. They're faster, there's more roll speed, and the way that you have to turn the bike is different. And, we learned that, but unfortunately we don't really ride those tracks that much. So we had to learn that the hard way, and we didn't have a lot of time.
Yeah, tracks are probably quite a bit smoother. Your grip's probably quite a bit better. Just due to they don't have the ever-changing consistencies of the pavement like we do, because it's different depending on where you are at Loudon.
Yeah, I actually like Loudon just as much because there is stuff that's wrong with it in a sense that it helps me as a racer because I can see like cracks and bumps that I turn at, and I use them as turning points and brake markers, and it's a little more difficult when you have like no discrepancies in the surface.
Yeah, getting your brake markers must be kind of tough.
Especially when half the corners are blind and you can't even see where you're going until you're already leaned over all the way. It's especially for the first couple laps you're on the track. It's a little nerve-wracking.
Yeah, I would imagine. So, is everybody going to Jersey?
Yep.
Yep.
It's going to be a good time because I'm definitely coming down to spectate. It's going to be worth the drive for sure. So
Yeah, it was in Q2. It was funny. I was pulling in on one lap, but I just passed Adam, and I was like, you know what? Let's give. I'll stay in front of Adam. I'm not like there's no. I'm gonna finish my lap and pull in, and I just ran a decent pace. That was like probably like what it was like a top like 15 pace, and I looked back and Adam's like right on my ass. I'm like, okay, I gotta go faster now. And yeah, he stayed with me, and I think that was his top. Was that your fastest qualifying lap?
For qualifying, yeah, it was.
Yeah, you ran faster in the race, but yeah.
Yeah, in the race, I was like, I think almost a second faster, but
Yeah.
in qualifying, it definitely helped. Because it's so cool. You can see like all the differences of like just the mode that you put yourself in for like racing versus qualifying or even practice. You're just like totally in a different mindset. Because as soon as those lights turn off, you're gone. Like you're out to like to the death pretty much. Is what it feels like at least.
it's that adrenaline pump is what it is.
Yeah, exactly.
You get that little bit of adrenaline in your system, and yeah, it tends. I'm horrible in practice. I go out and do practice. I'm terrible. I'm terrible anyway, but I'm old too, so I can use that as an excuse. But yeah, the adrenaline, it's just something that gets you going. And
I needed that race too.
I'm sorry.
I needed that race too. My dad had to wake me up. I was falling. I actually probably took a 2-minute nap in the pit lane during the red flag. I had an incident this weekend where I had my meds all the way until Saturday, and they went missing out of my camper Saturday night. And we tore the whole entire camper apart trying to find it. And we don't come to a conclusion, but we think someone took them. So it was hard. That was another thing I had to go through. I didn't really make much note about it in my post and didn't want to make any excuses, but it was probably one of the hardest things I've had to do in a long time. Without racing with my ADHD meds, it was like I'm looking for butterflies. And, you know, it was hard. Like during the morning warm-up, it was fine because I was pretty awake still, but by 4 o'clock in the afternoon, I was half past sleep.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's. I've done that. I take meds for my my blood pressure and stuff like that. I've gone to the track and left it at home. Forgot all about it. Not that I have that bad of a blood pressure problem. So, are you planning on traveling any more other than just, depending on how you do in Jersey for next season? Are you thinking about maybe hitting some of the other tracks? And we'll just go around. We'll start with Adam.
Well, I was thinking about it, but there are some rumors about there being an RC Cup. So once those get like totally figured out, we'll see how it goes. But because we already have the 400 built, but if we have to build a whole nother bike just to compete in the class, and I don't know if it'd really be worth it. But I mean, the drives are pretty, especially going over to PITT. That's a solid 8-hour drive for me, and it. I mean, it's not the easiest, but it's not. It's also not the worst. But it. I don't. We probably wouldn't go any further than that. I don't really see why we would really need to. I mean, PITT's a great track, but I would like to. Maybe if someone would offer a bike, I'd go out and take a plane and go further across the country and just see what other places have to offer. But I haven't gotten any offers like that so far. But if I do, I would definitely not want to turn it down.
How about you, Renee?
Yeah, I mean, same thing with what Adam was saying. It just depends on what comes out at the end of the season about the rumor about the KTM Cup. Because, I mean, I'm in the same position. I've put so much money into the 400. I don't want to do it all again for a bike that's even less than what I have. Like, if anything, I would rather jump up to a twin. But that's also really expensive and definitely not in the cards right now. So I'm going to do Jersey, and then next year it's just undecided. I might be racing Loudon. I might be racing a round of 2 of Moto America is probably unlikely just because of how expensive it is, but it's a good experience for now.
How about you, Eli?
I don't even know what I'm doing next week.
You going to start focusing a little more on the 600 or?
With how it is, I've come to a point in my racing where it's just, I do what my heart wants. I have amazing sponsors behind my back, but like Moto America was very easy for me to go to this year because I didn't have to worry about many things. I didn't have to worry about money. I didn't have to worry about this. I didn't have to worry about that because I had a lot of people step up and cover it. But it's like I appreciate all of that, but it's like in the point, like I come to this point probably in the 2021 and now, where I kind of get like to this time of the year, and it's just like kind of burnt. I'm just burnt out right now, and it's just just kind of a little bit burnt. And I think I put so much effort into the Loudon Classic that it was just like after I had it, it was like, what's now? Like, what do I do now? Like, there's nothing. There's no big money, and there's no nothing. I mean, that was the only thing that kept me pushing, kept me wanting to do better. Was I wanted to do good in front of my home crowd, and on top of that, I wanted to get some money because I'm broke as shit. So, for right now, I'm just gonna finish out the year, and if I go fast at Loudon, I go fast. If I don't, I don't. I'm just at the point where it's not make or break for me right now. If I win the dash, I win the dash. If I don't, I don't. It's not like, I'm just there to have a good time and have fun with my friends.
So, and it's funny you talk about the money and the cost and that. How much more expensive is a Moto America weekend compared to a Loudon weekend? Because I know just in tires alone, you're probably spending half a season's budget.
It's like $12 more. Take it or less.
$12? Come on.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
It's enough that we've all skipped a lot of Loudon rounds.
yeah. Like we're not sure if we're going to be able to make round 6 just for saving up, and then just all the travel time, having to fill up the RV. That's over $200 each time, and you got to fill it up about there and back for either Loudon or Jersey or wherever. So it's just a money thing. Like there's only so much of it, but when it really comes down to it, I mean, we're all trying to do as much as we can and like further our riding abilities, of course. But it just comes a point where it's almost not really worth it for how much it costs at times. But like tires for Moto America, it's 4 sets of tires or 8 stickers. You can use them however you want to, but and then we also got two more rears because they're like $20 cheaper there than they are usually allowed. And so it's just the tires, the fuel, the race fees aren't as much as you'd think, but everything just together, it's crazy. It's hard to even wrap your head around sometimes.
Yeah, I expected that the tire bill would be a little bit higher than that. But so you get 4 sets of tires for the weekend. Are they stickered or are they, those are the ones you have to run? Or
yes, you can get 8 different tires. They give you 8 stickers. You can get 4 fronts, 4 rears, or 2 fronts and 6 rears, however you want to do it. But you have 8 stickers for the weekend that you can put on any tire that you want. It doesn't even have to be new, but they just have to be new for that weekend. So it all depends. But if you really wanted to, you could run all take-off tires in Moto America if you really wanted to, but it wouldn't really get you too far. But
Renee, how about you?
Yeah, I mean, the tires are expensive, the gas to get there, like, especially when we all have big rigs with campers and trailers, and, the longer trips definitely get pricey, but crashing definitely doesn't help. Like, I burnt out most of my Moto America fun before I even went there just because I crashed and spent a lot on fixing the damage and getting, spare parts in case it happened again. So that's something, if you want to be prepared for that race because you're spending so much money, then it costs even more. But at the same time, it's just you have to pick and choose what you would rather do.
All right. I have got no questions out of the peanut gallery in the chat. I'm surprised.
Weak sauce.
None of us finished good enough to get questions, I guess, in there.
Nope.
No.
Yeah, no.
I know, like,
Hey,
we're all happy that we did the experience, but we've talked about it, and we definitely each want to do better at Jersey. Like, it was a
Yeah, we
Wait.
all know that we can do better. There's no doubt about that. We can all improve here, there, do whatever, get the bike more dialed, get ourselves more fit, or whatever we need to do. We all know we can do it better.
and
Working out.
I didn't even really pay attention to what your results were. Just the fact that you were there, you raced, you finished. It was awesome. It was awesome to see it on the TV at Loudon, getting ready for a race and watching you guys race. That was really cool. And yeah, so, and like Eli said, and he said this on one of our chats before, it's a very humbling experience your first time going to a Moto America race. And did you guys feel that? Because let's face it, you guys are like smoking fast at Loudon. I mean, you get there and you're front of the pack every time you're out there. So was it kind of a little humbling experience when you get out there with some of these kids from other places and really had to battle with them?
Well, for me, it definitely was. I didn't really know exactly what to expect, but once I got out there, got pushed around a bit, I kind of learned it a little more. But I'm excited to go to Jersey, taking what I know now and be able to apply it and just come straight out of the get-go with the knife in my back, trying to get to the finish line first, pretty much. That's all we really can do.
Renee?
I wouldn't say humbling is the right word. Like, a little bit surprising. The speed of like the top guys was definitely surprising because you're just like you're pushing as hard as you can and you're watching them put down lap times and you just don't understand how they're doing it. But at the same time, I expected the aggression level and the racecraft and everything else from these kids just because I've been watching and I know how much they race together and how much experience they all have. So I think if we, did it as much as they did, we could get there. It's just, actually being able to afford to do that and taking the sacrifices to do that.
Frenchie's in here. Get some rest at round 6 so the rest of us can go on the podium.
Frenchie, even with us not being there, you can't get on the podium.
Ooh.
Oh, shots fired. Shots fired.
Oui.
We got a couple of other ones. Great job. What'd you guys learn from the experience? And you've been talking about that. It's been, I'm sure, quite the experience and quite the learning. Let's see what else we got here.
Me and Adam,
no matter what the results show, keep at it. Yep.
Wait, Renee, what'd you say?
I said me and Adam learned something. We learned to look for the checkered flag.
Yeah, me and the
Did you
first
forget to look?
practice. Yeah, the first practice on Friday, me and Renee both did an extra about 2 laps. Both got yelled at the same time. It was pretty funny.
And you guys didn't get penalties? I'm the
No.
only one that did.
They felt too bad because we both.
Yeah,
did.
they did because we were like, "Oh, it's my first time."
Oh, man, I got fined.
Eli, you got a
What'd
fine?
you get fined for, Eli?
I just did stoppies.
Seriously?
I was seating in my brakes on the pit lane. I did a stoppie. Then they yelled at my dad. And then he just said, don't do a stoppie. And I thought that meant only on pit lane. So I didn't do another one on pit lane. I just did one into my grid box. And we came back with my bike from Park for May with a written penalty. So I'm just going to do another stoppie at Jersey just to sign it off. 3rd time's a charm.
So did they charge you anything, or was it just
Nah, next time's going to be a $250 fine.
Wow.
So, yeah, don't do stoppies, I guess.
well,
Live and learn.
so you don't got to worry about that.
Yeah. Well, we can't wheel. We don't get in trouble for wheeling.
Really? Oh yeah, no,
No.
because you see it at the end of races, people.
Yeah, no. I mean, like, I didn't know we can get in trouble for stoppies, and then I messed up after that after the pit lane, doing another one because I completely forgot. But like, I'm not gonna go out there and do another one because I'm not risking the money and not risking breaking the rules again. But it's like, I don't understand. Whatever. There's small its and bits of rules that make sense and some don't. So, and I guess it's a safety standard. So you got to respect it.
Well, I'm going to keep this one kind of short. I know Renee's sitting in her car outside of a steakhouse on the side of the road. And I want to applaud your dedication to pull over and jump on to get on a live stream. That's pretty dedicated. Adam had to have Dad come help him out.
We made it work, though. We did make it work
to get you straight out. Eli, as always, coming in from golf to hop on here. He's living the life of leisure. How about any comments? What are you hoping for Jersey? And we'll start with Adam and go around.
So for Jersey, I'd like a top 15. I know I can definitely get it because I am at least a top 15. That's like that's like where I draw the line. I'd be very disappointed in myself if I got anywhere higher than that. But I feel like I can because we're going to Jersey this weekend. Hopefully get the bike dialed in, lines, brake markers, everything should be set. So then once we go out for Moto America, we already have the track figured out because we went to PITT. We went there about a month before the race, and it was only for a 2-day track day that I was stuck in intermediate group because they wouldn't let me in the expert group. So I not going to name the organization, but they really kind of screwed me over. So I was still trying to make up time and figure out where I could go faster on the track, even during the first practice and qualifying at Moto America. So I feel that with more time on the track and a better setup bike, I'll be able to do way better at Jersey.
How about you, Renee?
Pretty much the same. I have a lot more experience at Jersey than I did at PITT, so I really like Jersey. It's probably one of my favorite tracks. I used to do better there than I did at Loudon, so I'm hoping that continues. I haven't been there since last year, obviously, but if we can get the K-Tech stuff to feel good there, and honestly, that's more important to me than a result, is just to feel better and feel like I can, go 100%. Wherever that gets me, it gets me, but I'm hoping for a top 10 or 12. I'll be kind of disappointed if I don't get there. I expected that the first weekend, which was not smart, but it is what it is. I can't control my own brain sometimes, so.
How about you, Eli? I know, top of the podium.
Well, not top of the podium. I just want to be on it. I just want to be on that thing. I mean, I wasn't far off. I think we were like 7 seconds off when we were all battling. Like the front pack, the 3 people just worked together and flew away. And we were a gaggle of 6 kids just trying to fight for 1 inch of track. So, I think I ended with like a 7th and a 9th. But, I know I can do better. I know once we get all set and dialed, and if I can get my brain back into it, that's my biggest thing, my brain. If I can get my brain back into the mode of wanting to do road racing or want to do very well, it's not that I don't want to, it's just I don't have that, drive like I used to for the classics. So if I can get my head wrapped around doing Moto America, which I know I can, we're going to be out there swinging no matter what. So I've always done pretty well at Jersey. Pittsburgh's always been just shake the rust off, I never had really good luck at Pittsburgh. In 2020, my first round, first practice, I got taken out first lap of practice, and then the weekend went downhill from that. And then the next year I had clutch problems. I smoked 3 clutch that weekend. And then this year was, we didn't have any problems, but, it just was another case of just, we weren't 100% prepared. It wasn't anyone's fault. It was just, we didn't have the time. So I've always done better at Jersey. I got my first top 5 there, and the track has its bumps. People get scared when they feel big bumps, especially now because the track's gotten a lot worse. The track's getting worse by the day. It's starting to turn almost into a Loudon. I've seen videos of the turn 3A B C, and C literally has a kicker out of it. I'm excited. We'll see how it feels this weekend. I'm going to be on the 400 and the 600 this weekend at CCS. So maybe getting the 600 out there might make the track. I 100% know will make the track a lot easier for me on the 400. So go out there, have some fun, battle it out. Hopefully there's some local kids there or at least some Moto America kids that try going out there for track time. I know a lot of them do, so it would be good. And top 3 would be the goal. I feel like I keep on letting down people and sponsors because I keep on telling them what I want to do, and it hasn't happened yet. So, and it's mainly myself. I'm letting myself down. I know I can. I know in my heart I should be there, and I just got to prove it. That's pretty plain and simple. So we'll come out at the next. I think I have 2 rounds of road racing before Jersey. I think we have Jersey this weekend and and Loudon next week. So do that. Then I'll do a woods race the week before Moto America to get myself all amped up and have some fun. And it's just going to be full send and try forgetting about I'm in college.
All right. I'm going to do my little exit spiel here real quick. And if you guys would hang out for just 1 second. Hey, everybody that tuned in, thanks for tuning in. Make sure you hit the like button. Give us a thumbs up on this. Subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit the bell for notifications. And, hey, everybody, have a great night.
Deuces.